Hi guys, I'm going to work through the review for the Unit 8 test so that you'll be ready to go for tomorrow or whenever you take your test. Alright, so number 1 says find the minimum. So remember, to find the minimum, that's really just going to be the vertex of the graph. So that means I'm going to use that formula, negative b over 2a. Okay? So negative b over 2a, which is negative parentheses over 2 parentheses. And so now I need to know what is a, b, and c. So a is hiding before x squared, it's a 1. B is hiding before x, it's negative 4. And c is the last number, a 1. So b is negative 4, so I'm going to put it inside the parentheses. And then a is 1. Then you go to your handy dandy TI-84 Plus graphing calculator and you type in negative 4 over 2 times 1. You do that in the fraction form. So remember, to get that, you push alpha, y equals, and then enter. Okay? So this is negative parentheses negative 4 over 2 parentheses 1, and that gets you 2. So the x value of my vertex is 2. Now I need to find the y value. To find the y value, you're going to plug in 2 into everywhere you see x squared. So we're going to say 2 squared minus 4 parentheses 2 plus 1. Type it on your calculator. So that's 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 1. And that gets you negative 3. So the y value is negative 3. Okay, so number 2 asks you to find the axis of symmetry. This one's way easier than number 1 because all we have to do is find what x equals. So that's still the same formula, negative b over 2a, negative parentheses over 2 parentheses. And so now we just need to know a, b, and c. Didn't leave a lot of room, did I? So a is 1, b is negative 6, and c is 7. So we're going to plug those things in. Negative on the outside, so negative 6 on the inside, and then 1 here. Go to your handy dandy TI-84 Plus graphing calculator, push alpha, y equals, enter, type in your equation. So it's going to be negative parentheses negative 6 over 2 parentheses 1. That gets you 3. So your axis of symmetry, remember, is an equation, so you have to say x equals 3. Okay? Alright. Nobody should miss number 3 on your test tomorrow or whenever you take it, because number 3 is like the easiest question out there. Anytime they give you an equation and a table, go to y equals and type in that equation. So the equation is negative x squared plus 2x and then minus 6. So go to y equals, type it in, and then push table. And all you're doing is you're matching up the numbers that you see. So like I'm looking here at negative 5, and on my table it's supposed to be negative 41. So it's not A because that doesn't match up. Then you look at B. Negative 3 is supposed to be negative 21. B, negative 3 is negative, or is positive, is negative 21. That's not it. Alright, let's check on C. C is negative 1, negative 9, 0, negative 6, 1, negative 5, 3, negative 9, 5, negative 21, 7, negative 41. Notice I didn't just automatically pick C. I went ahead and checked every single number in the table, because there could have been a D or whatever. Okay? Alright. So remember the foldable that you made on number 4? The foldable that talked about what happens when we do shifts here and there? So we're going to use that foldable to solve this problem, number 4. Alright, number 4 says, if 3x squared plus 3 is shifted 6 units down, okay, what will the new equation be? So that means I need to look here and go, okay, which one of these things talks about moving it up and down? Well, okay, not A, that talks about flipping it over. Not this part, because that talks about right and left. Oh, here we go, up and down. So to shift it down, I need to subtract at this last part of the equation. Subtract here. Okay? So what that means is I am going to subtract 6 from 3. So I say 3, 3 minus 6 That's negative 3. So my new equation is going to be y equals, the 3x squared doesn't change, it stays exactly the same. So I say 3x squared, and then it's now negative 3, or minus 3. Okay? All right, same thing on number 5. It says if the graph of x minus 3 squared plus 7 is compared to the quadratic function, parent function y equals x squared, what shifts have been made? So looks like I have parentheses, and the parentheses I have subtraction. So when I look in my parentheses, subtracting means it moves to the right. So for the subtraction portion, I say moves to the right 3, and then it says plus 7 at the end. So what does plus 7 do? So that's under the K. Plus 7 shifts the graph up, so we say up 7. And you're done. Okay? Number 6, if the graph 3x squared is changed to negative 3x squared, what will happen? So what changed was this coefficient, this number in front of the in front of the x squared. That's the a part of this vertex form, and it changed to negative. So what happens? The graph opens down now, or flips. Okay, it's a flip. Okay. All right, number 7 says if the graph 3x squared is changed to 6x squared. So what happens if my 3 is now a 6? Now you can compare this on your calculator if you want. I might do that because I always get confused. I can't memorize these rules. They just confuse me. I don't know why. So 3x squared is the first one, and now it's 6x squared. So we're going to type them both into y equals and push graph. The first one that graphs is the first one I typed. The second one that graphs is the second one I typed. And if you notice, the graph got narrower. Alright, number 8. What is the y-intercept of this graph? Write it as an ordered pair. Okay, fine. I'll go to my calculator. I'll go to y equals and clear out anything that's already in there. And I'll type 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. And I'll push graph. Where does it intersect the y-axis at? It's really kind of hard to see. Maybe I'll look at the table. Remember, y-intercept means that x is 0, right? So, let's go to x is 0. Oh, 0, 1. Write it as an ordered pair. That's all you do. Okay, so 4 through 8, actually 3 through 8, just type things in on your calculator and look and see what happens. Pretty easy stuff. Alright, let's look at the next page. It says, parent function p is in the form of y equals ax squared plus c. If the values of a and c are greater than 0, what graph could represent p? Okay, so let's start with a. If a is greater than 0, that means that the graph needs to be what? So let's look and see. It's going to open upward because it's positive, and it's going to probably be, well, we can't really tell if it's wider or narrower, but we for sure know it needs to open upward. So this one opens up. So that means I can automatically cross off answer choice B and answer choice D. It also says that C is greater than 0. Okay, well, C tells us how the graph is shifted. If it's greater than 0, then it means it's going to go up from the origin. Okay, so if I'm looking at it, this is below the origin and this is above the origin, so C can't be it. A has to be it. Okay. All right, number 10. 2 points are shown on the for the graph of the quadratic function below. What is the equation for the axis of symmetry? Remember, axis of symmetry is always x equals. So we have to figure out what does x equal. Now if you look at it, we've got 2 points, and I just need to find the middle, right? The axis of symmetry is directly in the middle of those 2 points. So let's count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the middle's going to be right here. Where does that touch the x-axis at? Right at 2. X equals 2. Okay? 3 points are shown in the graph below, and it says list both of the roots. Remember, the roots are where they touch the x-axis. So if these are 3 points on the graph, my graph's probably going to go like this, right? So let's find the middle. That's 8, so 4 in. So the middle's probably like right there. So if this is the middle, this is equal distance from the middle, right? It's a matching point on the other side. So the roots are at -2 and +1. Remember, you could write those as one little sentence, x equals -2, comma, and then also a 1 if you would like to. Alright. Number 12 is sort of a tricky question, but Star asked it, so I feel like we need to. It says, what is the 0 of the linear graph? Remember, a 0 is the same thing as an x-intercept. So in other words, we're looking to see where does it cross the x-axis. Crosses right here at x equals 4. When we're filling in one of these bubble charts for the STAR test, you can write that 4 anywhere on here. I always just start and write from left to right. So +4 and then bubble it. Okay? Because you can add in your decimals if you need to. Number 13, it says the graph of which function passes through -4, 10, -1, -8, 0, -6, and 1, 0, which of the following shows the same relationship. So essentially, start with the tables. That's the easiest thing to look at. You want -4, 10. This one has -4, 10. -1, 8. Yep. 0, -6. Yep. 1, 0. Yep. Look at the thing here. It says there's more than one answer. So C is correct, but there are others that might be out there. Let's check this table. -4, 22. No. So it's not D. Alright, the next easiest thing to check is the graph. So let's see, -4, 10, -4, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. -1, -8. Yep. 0, -6. Yep. 1, 0. Yep. So A works. B does not, because I don't have any 0, -6 for sure, right? 0, -6, not on there, so it's not B. How am I going to figure out those two? Well, I got a y equals button on my calculator, so I'm going to type those two in. So y equals, clear out this one, 2x squared plus 4x plus 6, and 2x squared plus 4x minus 6. Go to the table and check. So we're looking for any of these numbers. I can tell for sure that 0, -6 works on y2, which is the second equation I typed in. So that one works for y2, but y1 doesn't have it, so it's for sure not y1. Also, 1, 0 works for y2. I just need to check these two to be sure. So -1, -8, yep, and -4, +10, yep. So F is the equation. Okay. 3 answers on that one. Excuse me. Number 14, the equation for the axis of symmetry, remember it's x equals -b over 2a. So we need to say negative parentheses over 2 parentheses. Guys, don't get this wrong. This is A, this is C. B, remember, is next to x. So A is 1, B equals 0, and C equals -9. B is 0 because there is no x term. So we put 0 in here and 1 in there, so the axis of symmetry is at x equals 0. Then we can go and find our vertex by going to y equals and typing it in on our calculator. It's x squared minus 9. And then go look at our table. Or we can look at our graph, but our graph is a little bit harder to read as far as points. If we wanted to actually graph this, so just go here. So the vertex, remember, is at 0 for x, so it's 0, -9. And then you just plot these points from your table. So -3, 0, negative 2, negative 5, negative 1, negative 8, 0, 9, no, sorry, negative 9. Now I can do, to get the other side so quickly, I just did my matching points, okay? You could just follow along with the table if you needed to. The domain in quadratics is always all real numbers because both of them have arrows. This is a smiley face, so we say y is bigger than or equal to, and then you just figure out where the bottom of your graph is, negative 9. Okay. Alright, number 15, same concepts, same work. So you say negative b over 2a equals negative parentheses over 2 parentheses. This is a, it's 2, b is negative 2, and c is negative 4. So put negative 2 inside here for b, a is 2. Go to your calculator, alpha y equals enter to type in the fraction, negative 2 over 2 parentheses 2, and that's 1/2. So the axis of symmetry is at 1/2. To find the vertex, you're now going to have to, because it's not a whole number, you're going to have to plug it into the equation. So you say 2 parentheses minus 2 parentheses minus 4. And this 1/2 is going to be what you plug into everywhere you see x. So then you say 2 parentheses 1/2 squared minus 2 parentheses 1/2 minus 4. And that's negative 4.5. So my vertex is 1/2 comma negative 4.5. And then we're going to go ahead and push on our calculator. We'll type 2x squared minus 2x, x minus 4. Go to the table, copy down some things, some points that you can see. 0, negative 4 is 1. Negative 1, 0. And 2, 0. And let's see, 1, negative 4. That's enough points. We'll go ahead and graph it the best we can. Domain is always real numbers. Range, it's a smiley face, so y is greater than or equal to. And then where does it hit? Right here on the y-axis? Negative 4.5. One's a little complicated. Alright, number 16. It says, what is the y value for the vertex of the graph? So here's the vertex down here. Okay, that's at 1, negative 9. It says record that answer, so the y value is negative 9. So you come over here, you write negative 9, fill in your negative, fill in your 9. Whoops, sorry. So you write negative 9, fill in your negative, fill in your 9. What is the equation for the axis of symmetry, or the line of symmetry? So that's where it cuts the graph in half. It's also where the vertex is. So we're at x equals 1. Remember, the equation is always x equals. Okay? Alright, next up. It says, use the table below to answer the questions 18 and 19. Alright, so it asks for the vertex. Now remember, the vertex is going to be the maximum or the minimum. It's going to be where the graph, like the middle of our pattern. Okay, so we're looking for a pattern in here. We're looking to see, does anything repeat? And I notice the 3's repeat and the 0's repeat. Oh, look, so my vertex is going to be in between that stuff. So that's my vertex right there. The answer is 3, 4. Okay? What is the y-intercept? Remember, the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So find when x equals 0. That's right here. So this is super easy. 0, negative 5. Okay? Alright. Number 20 asks a couple of questions. The first question is, does it have a maximum or a minimum? It has a maximum. Is it positive or negative? Well, remember, positive is smiley, negative is frowny. This one is negative. Where is the vertex? It's way up here at negative 1, 9. The domain for every single quadratic function is always all real numbers. And it's a frowny face, so we say y is less than or equal to, and we figure out where that touches the y-axis at, and it touches at 9. So it's going to get smaller than 9. Okay. 21, same questions. Maximum or minimum? It's a minimum. Positive or negative? It's positive because it's a smiley face. Name the vertex. That's -1, -6. Name the domain. That's always all real numbers. And name the range. Well, it's a smiley face, so y is going to be greater than or equal to. And then you figure out where it touches the y-axis at, and that's at -6. Okay. All right. Last up, we're going to simplify by distributing and combining like terms. Make sure you watch your exponents carefully. Here we go. So 2x times 7x is 2 times 14. 2 times 7, which is 14. 2x's, so x squared. 2x times 5, that's 2 times 5, which is 10. There's only one x. Next up, -11x times 2x, -22. There's 2 x's, so squared. -11 times -2, +22. There's only one x. 24. 2x times 6x, that's 12. There's 2 x's, so it's x squared. 2x times 7, that's 14. 1x. -5 times 6, -30x. -5 times 7, -35. This one is not complete because we have 2 x terms that we need to put together. 14 minus 30 is -16. So 12x squared minus 16x minus 35 is the final answer for this problem. 25. I like to do the box method to solve these. You may like to double distribute. You do what you like, but for the sake of this video, this is what I'm doing. So 5x plus 10 goes here. 2x minus 7 goes here. And then you just multiply. 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 5x times -7, -35x. 10 times 2x is 20x. 10 times -7, -70. Now remember on these, you combine the two in the middle. 20 minus 35 is -15x. The -70 stays, and the 10x squared still goes at the beginning. 26, that squared means to write it twice. So we're going to draw a box. 7x minus 8 and 7x minus 8. Then you're just going to multiply the box. 7 times 7 is 49. X times x is x squared. 7 times -8 is -56. X times nothing, just plain old x. -8 times 7 is -56. We also have an x. And lastly, -8. And -8 is positive 64. Remember, combine along this arrow right here. -56 and -56 is -112. They're x terms. Then we put plus 64, and the 49x squared goes at the front. That says 4. 49. Okay. 27, distribute. So 5 times 2 is 10. X times x squared, that means there's 3 x's. 5 times 10 is -50. X times x is x squared. 5 times 13 is positive 65. And there's only one x. 28. -5 times 4 is -20. X squared times x is x cubed. -5 times -2 is positive 10. And x squared is all there is. 29. Make the box. So x plus 4 on one side and x plus 5 on the other side. And then you just multiply. X times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. X times 4 is 4x. 4 times 5 is 20. Combine those two on the box. That's going to be x squared plus 9x plus 20. Last one. Draw a box. X minus 7, x minus 1. Doesn't matter what side you put them on. You pick. It doesn't matter. X squared minus 7x minus x plus 7. Combine on the box. That's negative x, negative 1x, and negative 7x is negative 8x. Got x squared at the beginning and positive 7 at the end. Thanks for watching. Hope you do so well on your test, and good luck.